Welcome to my channel. I'm Gary Wiryawan, and today I'm going to share some of the submissions of my everyday photography challenge from all of you, my viewers and my subscribers. Basically, the everyday photography challenge is some sort of encouragement for all of you to try to find something interesting today, try to make some time for photography, try to shoot some interesting composition, and just share it. There's no exact rules. There's no exact photography genre that you have to follow. You just post whatever you want as long as it's something that you try to put a little bit of effort into, as well as try to keep it PG-13. So no nudity, no violence, no sexual content, no hate content, that kind of thing. So just keep it really for general audience. Anyway, for this period, we have about 8 submissions from all of you, my viewers and my subscribers. Thank you all for submitting to this everyday photography challenge. And if we have more submissions next month or this month, I will try to share some of them in the next video as well. Anyway, let's start with the first submission. First submission is from Borja Vargas. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. And basically, in the photo, he said, I took this photo as part of my own daily photography project. I'm from Spain, but I live in China, and this scenery is located at the school where I work. I took it with an Olympus EM5 Mark III and the Panasonic Leica 15mm. Congratulations! This is a really nice picture. This is sort of the kind of picture that I really hope for this everyday photography challenge. I really enjoyed looking at the composition. We have 2 trees, one on the left and one on the right. I think it really makes for a nice balance. And then there's a person on the middle of the frame, and then also that vehicle thingy. And then also we have those buildings on the back and a little bit of the mountain. And the overall balance of this image is really nice. I also really like the colors as well. The combination of the green from the trees, also with the blue from the sky, and all sorts of different colors. They're not really that distracting, but they really adds to the overall image, and I really like this submission. So thank you for submitting. I think this is a nice picture. Keep up the good work. So now let's continue with the next submission. So next submission is this picture right here by Chad. Thank you for submitting. And he said on the caption, the camera is Fujifilm Fine Pix S9900W, and it was taken at aperture f11, 10mm. So he said on the caption, taken in Camden, Ohio on 19th January 2023. I was looking to experiment with color separation to make the memorial pop against the background. And yes, this is a really nice picture. Thank you for submitting, chat. I think this is really, really nice. I sort of enjoy the overall composition. It's not too complicated here, but sometimes simpler things works best. The memorial on the middle with a little bit of the building on the background, as well as the overall street kind of look and a little bit of the black and white. I think it really works. I would rather have everything in black and white. I don't really think that the selective color right here is necessary, but again, this is kind of subjective. I still think this is a nice picture, and yeah, overall I really enjoy looking at this. And again, this is also the kind of picture that I was looking for on my everyday photography challenge. So thank you very much for the submission, and let's move on with the next picture. Next submission is this picture right here. This picture is taken by Sky, and on the caption it said, camera is Sony Mavica MVC FD200 at f3.8, 400 of a second shutter speed, ISO 100. This is a picture of my dog, Helga. Nice dog, by the way. And rolling in the dry winter grass. She was rescued about 5 years ago. Congratulations, this is really a nice image. Again, this is the kind of pictures that I want to see in this everyday photography challenge. This is not all about technicalities, not about the perfect dynamic range, not about the perfect lighting, but you know, something more about your everyday life, and the picture should evoke some kind of emotion, sentimental value, especially for you who take the picture. And if you look at this picture again in the next few years or next few months, you will still feel the same emotion coming back at you, like when you're looking at this image for the first time. And when I'm looking at this picture, I mean, I was really feeling some sort of calmness and comfort. I really get it from this picture. And you know, technicalities, it's not really the most perfect picture. I mean, the leg of the dog is a little bit cropped, I mean, but it's not about technicalities. I mean, I can still get the same emotion that I talked about from looking at this image, and I think that's the whole point of the everyday photography challenge. So really nice picture. Thank you for submitting, and now let's move on with the next submission. Next submission is this portrait right here. It was taken by Paolo, and on the caption it says, "Queen of the party. Taking portraits of my colleagues at an office party. Great occasion to practice photography." And making people he also said the camera is Panasonic GX85 and Lumix 17mm. I'm not quite sure that there's a Lumix 17mm, but I'm going to assume that looking from this picture, it's not 17 but 15mm. I hope I'm correct. So yeah, nice picture by the way. This is an example of an environmental portrait using slightly wider angle lens, something that I do frequently as well. And looking at the composition, the overall image, I think it looks very balanced. Where he cropped the elbow of the lady, I think it's quite nice. It's not really that cropped, so it's still fine for me. And also where the head is positioned on the frame, how she holds the glass, and also her pose of like crossing the arms, that kind of thing. I think it really works on this image. And again, this is another nice example of what an everyday photography should be. Not about the most perfect lighting, not about the most perfect composition and whatnot, but something that can make you smile, can make you feel some kind of emotion. And I think with the smile of the lady right here that's being portrayed, I think it gives me that kind of friendly atmosphere that I really enjoy from looking at this portrait. So yeah, really nice image. And now let's move on with the next submission. Next submission is this picture right here, taken by Sky again. So his second submission, thank you very much. And on the caption he said, Panasonic G85 with the Oshiro 60mm f2.8. Took this picture in my backyard of the neighbor's windmill. Wow, really nice picture. Thank you for the second submission. And I think this picture is really strong compositionally speaking. I'm really intrigued by the Oshiro 60mm f2.8. I never heard about that lens before, so I'm going to look up on Google after this. But basically the whole composition right here is really nice. It's very strong. It has this kind of frame within frame kind of feel that you get from the glass ball right in the middle, that's giving you some sort of the fish eye kind of effect, and it covers the whole area, and also the windmill itself on the glass ball right there. So really nice. And I also like the background blur kind of thing that's going on right here, blurring the actual windmill, but the windmill is also very sharp on the glass ball right in the middle. So a very strong image. It really gives me that kind of unique look, and I really enjoyed this picture. I think this is one of the strongest ones so far. So congratulations, Sky. Really nice image. And now let's move on with the next submission. Next submission is this picture right here, taken by Shiibi. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, but on the caption he said, camera is Panasonic GX85, Olympus M Zuiko 45mm f1.8, settings ISO 200, f1.8 aperture, 1/25 of a second shutter speed, edited in Lightroom. And he also said, this is my first time using a digital camera, coming from shooting film for the past 2 years. I love custom keyboards, so I wanted to take a picture of my current keyboard on my desk, focusing on these 3 artisan keycaps. Hope to send in more photos as I get better at digital photography. So Shiibi, thank you for the image right here. I think this looks really nice, and you're using the same camera and same lens as what I usually use for my portrait photography, especially taking portraits of my wife. I featured the combination of GX85 and Olympus 45mm a few times on my everyday photography vlogs, which you can check right here. But this is really a nice image. I love the whole geometrical kind of thing going on right here with the composition of the keyboard as well as the gaming mouse and those 3 custom keys on the center part of the image. And I also love this kind of compression going on from the Olympus 45mm. It is a mild telephoto lens, so at this focal length you'll get some kind of compression, flattening of the foreground and the background. And I also love the lines at the upper left part of the image and also on the right part of the image. I imagine it's some sort of a mouse or a cat with the white lines right there. Overall, really strong image. I think this is a nice example of a product photography. Very strong submission. Thank you very much for submitting, and now let's move on with the next picture. Next submission is this picture right here, again by Shiibi. Thank you very much for submitting, and on the caption he says, camera Panasonic Lumix GX85, lens Panasonic Lumix G Vario 14-140 f4 to f5.8, settings ISO 320, 41mm f8, 100 of a second shutter speed, edited in Lightroom. This was the day that my new to me ultra zoom lens arrived at the door. My family and I decided to go to newly opened boba shop nearby, and this artwork stood out to me, so I decided to take this picture while we were waiting for our drinks. Even though it is the older Mark 1 14-140mm lens, I still love the focal range it gives me for everyday daytime shooting. This zoom lens and any one of my primes will be the gear I will carry out and about. Really nice submission. Thank you for the second submission, Shiibi. I think this is a really nice picture. I agree with you. I really love the artwork on the white surface thingy right there. And I also love the overall composition of this image. I love how you get two-thirds of the bottom image of that white surface with the artwork, and then the upper 1/3 part of the image you have some different kinds of elements right there. There are some faces, there are some juice bars, and then some other kind of paper artworks and whatnot. Really a simple image, but very interesting in my opinion. This has that street photography kind of vibe going on, and I really enjoyed it. And also with the 14-140mm lens, you have the older version of my 14-140. I hope that you will also enjoy that lens. Again, a really nice submission. Thank you very much for submitting, Shiibi. And now let's move on to the next image. Next submission is this picture right here by Fabs Cams. And on the caption he said, this was shot in Thailand on my Panasonic GX9 with my 12-35mm f2.8 at 16mm ISO 200 f7.1. This pitch was incredibly busy, so I had to wait for the perfect time when there was only a single couple in the scene. A really nice picture. Thank you for your submission. This is another really strong composition, a really, attention-grabbing image because the overall composition is very strong. I love that the lady right there is sitting right in the middle of the image, and then there are two, a rocky canyon on the ocean on the upper left and the upper right of the image. I think it really balances the image nicely. And then also there's that guy standing really near to the shoreline, and then also the red bag near the lady. I think the red bag is slightly distracting, but I'm really nitpicking right here. You don't have to hear it. This is all very subjective. But anyway, the overall composition again is very strong, especially with the lady sitting in the middle. I usually love to kind of break from the traditional rule of thirds. I prefer center composition, so I'd like to put my subject, especially for portraits and for street photography, right in the middle of the image, because I think sometimes it can work really nice. It makes a really strong image, and on this image right here, that is definitely the case. Another nice submission, and I think this is one of the best submissions together with some other images that's on this set of pictures, on this set of submissions. So thank you very much for the submission, and that is all of the submissions for today. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for all of you who already submitted to this everyday photography challenge. And if you want to submit, please go to this link right here, and you can also go to the card above right here. But basically, again, as I said at the beginning of this video, there's no really exact rule when it comes to my everyday photography challenge. Just try to make some time, just try to make some effort to do a little bit of photography every day. You don't even have to do it every day, just when you have time, but try to make time as often as you can, and you can submit one picture every day. So yeah, from the images that we looked from the submissions today, I think they are all really nice, but there are two images that really stand out the most. The first picture that stand out the most, I think, is from Sky, and it is the picture right here, the picture of the windmill with the glass ball in the middle, and I really think it is a strong image. And then the second one that I think really grabs the attention is the picture from Fabs Cams right here with the lady sitting on the beach in Thailand right here. Another strong image with a strong composition, very balanced and very nice looking. Not that the other submissions are bad, no, they are all good as well, but these are the two that really stands out in my opinion. Anyway, thank you very much once again for your submission. If you want to submit, go to that to this link right here. I will put it also on the description below, and I will see you on the next submissions. Thank you very much, and don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, and subscribing to my channel. Thank you and goodbye.